Whether you're a general contractor, landscape contractor, concrete contractor, or whatever service you plan to offer, it's always a good idea to understand the different markets that are available for each. Generally, the construction market is broken up into three different sectors: residential, commercial, and industrial construction. In today's lesson, we're going to cover the different aspects of each, including site selection, permits, bidding, cost, and more. Types of residential structures. Residential structures typically include single-family homes, condos, townhomes, cooperative housing or co-ops, duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes, smaller apartment complexes, and individual mobile homes. Types of commercial structures. These commercial structures typically include office buildings, hospitals, restaurants, retail spaces, and large residential complexes. The types of industrial structures, they typically include manufacturing plants, warehouses, and distribution centers. So what's different? Well, there's generally 5 factors that differentiate residential, commercial, and industrial construction, and they would include site selection, permits and regulations, speed of delivery, worker experience, and cost. Site selection. The site selected for construction depends primarily on the type of structure. Residential lots are generally smaller than what's required for a commercial or industrial building. Commercial and industrial structures usually require larger parcels of land. Commercial buildings are often situated near residential areas, close to their target market of shoppers, restaurants, and office workers. Industrial buildings are often built off the beaten path, away from areas where noise and pollution would be considered a nuisance. On a final note about site selection, the type of site selected will affect significant aspects of the project, from selection of equipment to road access, availability of material, and more. Permits and regulations. The required permits and regulations for residential construction are typically handled at the local level, and they're almost always easier to acquire. However, when it comes to commercial and industrial construction, in addition to local authorities, permits and regulations are also required at the state and federal level, which can obviously make things a bit more challenging. Speed of delivery. Although residential projects tend to be smaller, the speed of construction for commercial and industrial projects can actually be completed quicker. In addition to commercial and industrial projects having more workers on site, making the project move faster, the stakes are higher. Failing to meet contractual obligations are far more costly on commercial and industrial jobs. Also, as some of you are already aware, residential customers are far more likely to request changes, which always slows down the construction process. Worker experience. There are exceptions, of course, but compared to the average residential project, commercial and industrial projects tend to require not only more workers, but higher skilled workers. This requirement especially applies to project managers, who usually have more responsibility to handle on larger commercial and industrial projects. In addition, these larger projects often require experienced operators with proven track records to operate bigger, more complex pieces of heavy machinery. For these reasons, overall labor costs are considerably higher on commercial and industrial projects compared to residential projects. Want to view the entire lesson as well as all of the other lessons included in this course? Visit heavyape.com and use the coupon code E&C to get 25% off.